Well, hello. We're winning. We've got our railings up, our plants tied up, and you might be able to see it. It's hailstoning. Let's see what's happening. We've got some airline stuff to do. There she be, taper turn tidied up, and that's going to disappear because I've got another one. And we'll have a look through the back. Down here, I enjoyed these pull-out drawers so much. I'll put my both collet sets on pull-out so they can come all the way out. And that means at the back end of my wrapped up lathe, it's winter, I don't want any condensation, I've put my spare chucks. So stuff's been happening. We've got a dental chair to fix, and we've got some dental airlines to get adapted. Catch you back. And we're back again, aren't we? So this is the arm of an ADEC A500 dental chair. It's a daft little floppy thing really, but it's got a 3/8/16 stud which has got some features in here, which is great, and the blooming thing has stripped the thread that goes in the chair. So I'm going to do a helicoil repair up inside there, and probably have to take that to pieces in order to screw that stud back into here. We shall see. So the ADEC 500 been running for at least 15 years, and it's been very reliable, worked very well, so I've been happy with that. Just prizing this cover off this side of the arm, see if I can get this sucker off. It doesn't want to come off easily, but I say strip this stud out. They're all American, so it's a 3/8/16 stud that goes right the way through, all the way through from here to yon side. I'm just thinking what I'll actually do is I'm going to do the helicoil repair first, so I can remember how the heck to put it all together. So there is the old helicoil. For the dentists out there that don't know, you drill an oversized hole centered on the original, and then put a thread insert in, which screws in. Well, it screws into a tapped area, and then you break the tang. There's a little retaining clicky tip on the end that you snap off. But the main thing is, it's a thread insert that you can rebuild the thread. I can't tap this one out because it's absolutely gadongered. So I'll drill that through, cinch it up, drill it through. I'm sort of thinking I might put some filler in it as well, just to fill these edges nice and neat so that it's got a good finish. And to do that, I'll use a metal epoxy filler. I'm at the drill press. Got one of Grandad's V blocks gripping the curved side. I've got some leather to protect the finish. I don't want to knack it. We've got a couple of parallels. There's a machine face at the other end, so I know I'm vertical. I know I'm held and clamped good and tight. It's not going to move. Grandad's got me back. So I've got a piece of 8mm stock, and I'm just checking I'm centered. I'm going to drill this deeper 8mm to start with anyway, but right at the bottom there's a little bit of untouched metal. So I'm going to just kiss that and see, check that I am central. Then I'll build this up, let it go off and go from there. Right, so I've got a spotting drill going on. I'm just going to check that out. Well, it's tricky to see, but I'm pretty central down there. So now I'm going to drill this out. I've got a good chunk of solid metal here. I'm going to drill it out a long way. I'll put a long thread insert in. Why not? It's surprising how soft this alloy is. I mean, that is the softest stuff I've drilled. That's horrible. I thought that was solid all the way, but there's a hole. Right, never mind. It is what it is. Right. Should have spotted that. Fool. We've just used a plastic steel putty. Actually, I have no idea what it's made of. It's a two-paste system. Putty and a hardener. It smells a bit of urea. Anyway, I've mixed that up, worked it into the hole, and we'll see how that sets. It says 45 minutes, and I'll tidy that up and see how we're looking. Well, I didn't read the instructions there, did I? 12 odd hours to dry. Never mind. I drilled my 8mm hole. And now I'm going to drill my helicoil hole. See, oversized hole drilled. Tap's gone in. So I reckon this one will definitely go in. And that one is going to be a bit long. So we'll go for this size. So all I've done here is screw the thread insert onto the insert tool, and then so I'm going to take that right down. It is quite tight actually, squeaky. Okay, so that feels good. And away. So the trick now is just to break off that tang. Which I have. So, and a little bit fell out the bottom there. So that should be a thread repair. We're back at the ranch, the RCB, the A-Deck A500. That's where my armrest should be living, but isn't. And if I come round to the other side, there's the one that's working. So I've got to pull this cover off, have a look inside and check out how this thing works. I'll bring you back. Okay, so this side hasn't been mucked around with, and I don't have any of those plastic washers there. So I'm going to take this off and then have a look on the inside. We'll see. Okay, so this is out now. There's some sort of goopy seal in there, but essentially there's a piece, this piece here, that's missing on the other side. So there should be this piece and a little spring inside. So that's why the other one's flopping about. Right, we'll have to have a think about that. Okie dokies. I'll see if I can find out where that's gone to, won't I? Oh dear. Right, this part's missing on the other arm. This slides off. There's a sprung pawl that engages this part here, little washer there, and because that's missing, I'm up the spanner, so I've got to work out what I'm going to do. But we'll have a hunt around the practice. I don't remember seeing this bit. That little pole there needs to sit there. There you go. That sits there. And clicks its way around. So happy days, at least we know what we haven't got. And I'm not tempted to make that because there's quite a lot of work in that. It's not worth it. I don't remember that other arm ever working that well. Right, I'm going to blow this back out, put this back on, and then we know what we're looking for. In fact, I'll take some photos of it. So, going back in, the stud I screwed in has got, you're on video, has got stuck in, so that's now in, great. That's the cap head with the preload spring there. So now I've got to get this to go back on there, because that feels like it's in properly, I think. I'll give it a good crunch in a minute. So I think that's in tight. Now all I've got to do, that's like the central post. Okay, so the screws come out of the top of that. So this removable part has to sit in the slot so that one pawl engages the channel and the other sits loose, so as it rotates it's got a stop at one end and a stop at the other end. So far so good. Back in shed central, what we'll do now, we'll take this cap head out, and to do that I've got the right size 5C collet to go over the top there. These are quite handy because they'll only grip right on the end bit. I think I got it. That's tight. Right, I might use the vice here. Oh, that is tight. Anyway, good. Right, you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to stick that in a vice. That cut the stud out, he said. There you go. Your ER collet needs a longer piece So when I screw this back in to here, I'll screw it in. I'll use an ER collet to get that final tighten, and I'll put a bit of thread lock in. Anyway, the thread repair is a success, so that's great. So where I've got a longer bit of shaft to grip on, like that, I use the ER collet, and that'll be fine. This will grip just on the shortest end because it's on just a taper, a very short taper on that, whereas this needs a longer shank to grip. Well, I think so anyway. Right, I think I'm going to super glue this. And I'll fill the back of that thread with I'll fill the back of the thread with car body filler and just make a nice neat job of it. Or neat enough, it doesn't have to be ridiculously neat. Right, that will do. Stud in. Right, I've got a good solid arm now, so I'll fill this little bit here. That stud's solid. Then I'll make a piece to go over this part with 2 dowels to engage either side in there, and engage this. So it's not going to work as a ratchet, but it'll lock here, it'll lock here, and we're golden. So I can engage this piece. What I'm going to do, that's your little top hat piece that sits in there, sits over there. I'm going to take the guts out of this That's how that goes. Okay, yeah. I'm going to take the guts out of this and trace around this piece so I can make it the right shape, whilst remembering what it looks like in there. So I've taken the back plate off. I'll be able to tap through on these, tap that piece out, the R goes to the top. What could possibly go right? Okay, so there you go. That's out. There's my piece, which is of course interchangeable left and right. And same with the piece that was in the chair, you just knock the pins the opposite way. So, here we go. Clever, really. we've made a ring with a slot in it. That captures that, goes on there, and now I can just put my dowel holes where I need them. Now, your dental service engineer might not be making that, but I can guarantee you've got a patient out there who will do it for you. Alright, so it's a bit of a cheat, but there we are. That will capture the inside of this piece. I'll start putting it back together now. So the R was up, there's the two holes there. That slots into there. That will drop onto there, and then I can put my pins in this to locate on the inside. But in the meantime, I'll flip this over and screw it back together. I do love this whole left-right thing. This is made for left and right. All the parts are left and right. You just push the pins through or flip it upside down. Genius. I'll bring you back. Well, that was a bit frustrating, but if at first you don't succeed, cheat. So I made the first piece to go in, but the diameter wasn't really big enough to pick up the larger diameter of these pins. So I've remade this, recut the pocket. I'll actually use these locators here because I can really put the pin down as far as I want. So I'll locate the pins into here. I'll have a look at the diameter. The actual diameter of the piece of the slug that I used was, it's 2.5 inch diameter. That first one was too small. I did the first one 2 inch, but anyway, look, 2.5 inch diameter. That's the doozy. That's the way to go. You know, Bob's your uncle, Robert's your relation, and Fanny's your auntie. We're away. And then I lost the microphone. Anyway, moving on. I've made a paper template. So that I can pick up where the pins are going to sit inside the arm. So on the boss, inside the arm. Then I can use that piece of paper, clock it onto the back side of my piece so that I get the pins lined in exactly the right place. And then I had to do a bit of knobbling. But there we go, that's how I got the pins in the right spot on my boss. Okay, so putting it back together, washer on, there's my bandit piece. It is a complicated thing. If you wanted it to work properly with the ratchet, then take the piece off the opposite side and make a mirror image would be the way forward. But for a static arm and a solid arm, you know, patient can sit on this, it's not going to bust. This will go back together solid. Happy with that. Right, that's absolutely rock solid. If you put it up, you tend to end up with patients coming and sitting on the arm anyway, so I think I would leave it there. The arm on the far side is in the up position. That's in the down position, so it's not quite as far down as it can do. I'm happy, I think. leastways it's a chew on to do anymore. I'm not going to put the cover back on, just, oh, I'll put the cover back on. I cleaned the arm without putting the pink stuff on. Wow, what a job it did. So, super happy with that. I'll just give it a bit more of a polish and then... Yeah, alright, this is exactly what you'd expect dental airlines to look like. And one of the problems with your A-deck is A-deck, of course, American imperial sizes, and all our pipes and connectors tend to be metric. So what you get, this is a standard spigot. It's a push fit with a push fit, and this is a reducing size, 12mm outside diameter, going to 8mm outside diameter. So that's going from a larger pipe to a smaller pipe. This diameter is no good coming off imperial size. So what you can do, you can take a metal fitting, work it down, so that's now worked down to an imperial size, just on the lathe. So that's now 0.375 exactly. So that's now imperial size. Now I can screw an adapter, and coming off my A-deck chair I've got imperial to metric adapters, and I haven't seen imperial to metric adapters around, and I've seen, you know, various ways of doing it with cigarette lighters, melt the pipe and swage it on and all this type of stuff, but that really is a nice way to go. The other thing that annoys me, again, when you've got microbore piping, this really fine flexible stuff, adapting it to a quick fit, push fit. So the push fits, the barb on them is too large for the fine pipes. So what we can do is right, well, I'm sure you can see which way we're going on that. I'm going to take a QD, quick disconnect. It's like a standard size. Cut the barb and the thread off, and when we've got to that, it gives us a flat end. We then thread it M5, and we can put a barb straight in, or we can swap it out and have one of the little skinny boys or whatever. So I can go from a quick disconnect straight to whichever pipe I want. You know, I don't have to use an adapter barb, and I don't have to use reducing diameter connections. Dental airlines, who knew? All the best. I'm gone.